Department of Police, City of St. Louis, 7:16 p.m., October 22nd, 1913. To whom it may concern, I herein state that on or about October 13th, 1913, Emily Nahovic came to my house in the evening and said she was in trouble and wanted me to help her out. I told her it was dangerous for to do a thing like that, and she said, "You need not be afraid, that I won't tell on you." I then inserted a catheter into the private parts and opened her womb. She then paid me about $5 or $7, I don't remember which. She came back in 2 days and I again put the catheter into the womb. She left and I never saw her again until this evening at the hospital. The above statement was made of my own free will and not by any threats or promises or violence to me. Signed, Emma Bickel. This is Christina, the Sisyphean Journal. Today's October 23rd, and we're looking at the anniversary of the death of Emily Nahovic. And Midwife Emma Bickel signed this statement after she was brought to the bedside of Emily Nahovic at Rebecca Hospital in St. Louis. And the question is, was she telling the truth when she confessed, or was she telling the truth when she recanted it? Now, police officer William Coates had arrested Bickel and brought her to Emily's bedside, and he testified that he asked Emma Bickel if she knew the girl, and Bickel said yes, she did know her. Coates said that he asked, "You performed an abortion on her, didn't you?" And he testified that Bickel said yes, and that's when he wrote out the statement. Now, Emily was 19 years old, single, living with her sister in St. Louis and working as a clerk in her sister's vegetable store. She first reported feeling ill on October 18th. On Monday the 20th, a doctor came in to treat her. The next day, he realized she had peritonitis. Her situation was critical, and he admitted her to the hospital. And there he called in another doctor to consult, and they made every reasonable effort to save her life. But you have to realize that this was before antibiotics. She had an infection, and they tried, but she eventually died. Now, when it came time to testify in court, Bickel denied performing an abortion. She said that, yes, Emily had come to her house and said that she was in trouble. Emily asked her how far along. Emily said that her period was 2 weeks late. And Bickel said that Emily had told her that she was married and that she had taken some medicine to cause abortion. And Bickel said she told Emily that you're only 2 weeks gone now to bring you around by your next monthlies, and sent Emily away. She said that about 2 weeks later, Emily, who had still not given her name, returned, said she was willing to pay $7 for an examination. That's a little bit outrageous. Let's see. What would $7 in 1913 be worth today?
Here's what I found.
Yes, $7 in 1913 is worth $184 today. I don't picture a clerk at a vegetable stand paying somebody $180 just for an examination. So now, Bickel said that Emily obviously already had an infection in her uterus, and she told her to go to a doctor. So despite the protests of innocence, Bickel was convicted of second-degree manslaughter. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison. She successfully appealed her conviction and was paroled in June of 1915. So this seems like a case where I would guess that Emma Bickel really did perpetrate the fatal abortion. Inserting a catheter was considered a perfectly normal method of abortion at that time. She wasn't doing some weird, freaky, flaky thing. So, by safe and legal standards, this was a medical professional that Emily went to. She had a procedure done that was considered a normal abortion method at the time. She got an infection, which is an expected complication of any kind of surgery, and because it was pre-antibiotics, it was just too late for her. Now, what I would want to see is if somebody says, "I'm in trouble," helping them with their issues. Now, granted, it was a lot harder back then when unmarried motherhood was a much bigger deal. It's a sad case, and I'm really sad that nobody was there to give Emily the help she really needed. And, I wonder why the baby daddy left her in this situation.